So in order to get our hands dirty, I prepared a very simple dummy project for you. You find it attached to this lecture as a zip file, which you can download and extract. And in that extracted folder, you will find three files: an app.js file, an index.html file, and a styles CSS file. Now here I opened this extracted folder with Visual Studio Code, the code editor I'm going to use throughout this course. Now you can use any code editor or IDE of your choice. You don't need a specific tool, but I strongly recommend Visual Studio Code, which you can get for free from code.visualstudio.com. It's available for Mac OS, Windows, and Linux, so you can use it on any platform, and you can simply download and install it from that page. And once you did that, you can open the attached extracted folder with File, Open, and then navigate to that folder and open it. You can close the welcome screen you might see in Visual Studio Code, and if you want to get the exact same look as I do, under View, Appearance, you can control which sidebars are visible or not visible. And I only have the sidebar and the editor area open. I, for example, don't have the activity bar, which you might still have. I'm also zoomed in here, and under Code, Preferences, Color Theme, I am using the Dark Plus theme. Now you can configure this however you want, but that is the style I am using. Now with that, let's start writing some code. And I will actually start by writing some non-Vue code first, so that we thereafter can see why using a framework like Vue.js might be a good idea. On this demo project which I prepared, we can add goals. We got a test goal at the moment, and we will delete that soon. But now whenever I add a new goal here, like finish the course, I want to make sure that when add goal is clicked, this goal appears in that list down there. In the index.html file, we got some markup for that: input field, label, button, and then that list with the dummy list item, which we can delete now. And I'm importing some styles, which I prepared for you. We don't have to care about those. It's not a CSS course after all. But we do also import app.js. And here we can write some JavaScript code to fetch the user input when the button is clicked, create a new list item, and add that to that list of list items here. And that's what I want to do first now, with just JavaScript, so without Vue. In app.js for that, we first of all need to get access to the input so that we can read the entered value. We need to get access to the button so that we can listen to click events on the button. And we need to get access to the unordered list here so that we can add new list items. Therefore, I will create three constants here in app.js. The first one is the button L constant, let's say. This name, of course, is up to you, where I use document query selector to select the only button we have on this page. So now a pointer to that DOM element, to that JavaScript object representation of that button element, is stored in this button L const. I'll do the same for the input element with document query selector input, and also for the list element with document query selector UL for unordered list. Now we can add a click listener with JavaScript to this button by reaching out to the button L and calling add event listener, where we then listen to the click event like this by passing click as a string as a first argument. The second argument now needs to be the function that should be executed when that click occurs. For that, we can define a new function here. Add goal could be the name, which should be triggered upon a click. So here we can then point at add goal. We don't execute it here. We just point at it by repeating its name so that the function is executed for us when a click occurs. Now in this function, we want to get whatever the user entered. So we can get the entered value by reaching out to input_l.value. Being an input element at which we're pointing here, it will have a value property. That's vanilla JavaScript. That's built into JavaScript, that we have this value property on input elements, where we then can extract the value the user entered into this input. And now we can create a new list item element by calling document create element, which is a built-in method provided by the browser to create new DOM elements programmatically with JavaScript. Here we can provide li to create a list item element, and then we can use that newly created list item element to set its text content, so the text between the opening and closing tags of that list item, equal to the entered value. And then we can reach out to the list L, so to our overall list, and call append or append child. Both will work here. I'll go for append child, and append our list item L, which we just created. If we do all of that and we reload, I can add finish the course and add this goal. And thereafter, for example, also add learn view as a goal. Now let's say we also want to reset the input once a goal was added. We could do that by again using our input L and setting value equal to an empty string. This will set the value in the input element to an empty text and therefore clears it. So with that, if we reload again and I finish the course, now this would be cleared. Now that's just JavaScript, no view in action, and it's obviously a very, very, very trivial demo website. Still, we will now use Vue, and you'll thereafter see why Vue might be quite interesting, as it makes building websites more fun. I'll then also talk about the differences between Vue and this approach. But first of all, let's switch to Vue in the next lecture.